All right, here's how to optimize an existing blog post. So obviously log into WordPress, come in here, pick a blog post, any blog post. This site happens to use the classic editor, which when I am optimizing things, I prefer to have the block editor now. So there's actually a setting down here you can switch to block editor. So start with that. And then now you'll be here, you can click the drop down, convert to blocks, and now you can have some fun. So first thing you're gonna do is this a good leading title? Is this what we're trying to rank for? Captive industry ready to compete tomorrow. That's not necessarily a good heading for this. So you might have to read it a little bit and figure out what it's talking about. You need a succinct 3 to 5 word heading that has the keyword that they're trying to rank for via this article. Lots of times, this is a common strategy people use when writing. They think this is the hook, so they say, oh man, I'll put that in my title, when really it should be the opening sentence. And it can be big, it can be italicized, whatever, make it big in the first opening sentence, but it shouldn't be the title. The title has to have the keyword that you're hoping to rank for. Another thing you'd look at is, I have Grammarly installed, recommend that. They give a bunch of edits here. Along with conservative investment captives, must be able to manage costs in in both a hard and soft market. So it gives a really good recommendation, so you want to go through and do all those. Then there's got to be a point in here where you can look and see, can I add some extra heading tags? Heading tags are just like an outline. If you have an outline of a paper, usually you write those first, your major headings, and then so that's an H1 is your major, there's only one of those per page. Then you have H2s, which are your subheadings, those would go down the page, and then nested under H2s, you would have H3s. There would never be a time where an H3 comes before an H2. It always comes after an H2. And usually I don't do anything past an H3 because that's pretty granular and most articles don't get into that depth. But you may consider adding a couple H2s and maybe an H3 if needed. I would also look to see if these paragraphs can be broken up into smaller paragraphs. Long paragraphs are hard to read from a reading standpoint. It's not a grammar and English standpoint, but from a purely reading standpoint, smaller paragraphs are more easily consumed. So if you can break these up into smaller paragraphs, that's really helpful. This one obviously doesn't have any images, so definitely add a couple of pictures in, and the pictures need to be optimized in a way where the file name and the alt tag are keyword centric, but still describing the picture. Don't keyword stuff into those two things, but add pictures that have the keywords or related keywords or synonyms of the keywords, or a sentence of, not a sentence, but 5 to 7 words about the picture that also tie it into the topic. After you do all that, you should be able to preview it, make sure it still looks good, even using the block editor. And, they do have a featured image, so that's good. I would check that. Still looks good, outputs well, so they're using the featured image here. There it is, so if you click that, wait a second. There it is, home draw image, so the alt text is an M, that needs to be fixed. Home draw image, that's not helpful. Home draw image 16, not helpful. So those all need to be updated and fixed. Then you can get into smaller stuff where you could italicize some words that are important, or maybe underline, add some other stylistic things in there. But pretty much that's what you would do to optimize an old blog post.